daily. Yep. And it's the daily go get mism show. You think it ain't when it is? You think it won't when it is? We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing, taking off fast lane, no coasting. And everything is going to be all right. We talking about being in love with a criminal tonight. Being in love with a criminal. You fell in love with a criminal. You all caught up, all in with a criminal. And when I say a criminal, I don't necessarily mean somebody that's out here stealing, robbing, shooting, stabbing, hurting. But you might be in love with somebody that schemes all the time. And for a person who is used to following rules, or somebody that's trying to straighten their life up, dealing with somebody that's still out there, still wild, still taking chances, unnecessary chances on their health, chances on their well-being, chances on their freedom, chances on their comfortability, and they just, man, listen, we've probably all done things in our lives that we're not so proud of, and we probably tried to get those things together, reconcile them, get clean our lives up, so to speak. And when you try to clean your life up, and somebody comes along that you're really attracted to, that you really digging, and they how sometimes when you first meet a person or get involved with a person, you might not you might try really hard not to judge them, not to piss them off, not to make it seem like you're a square, or try not to make them feel uncomfortable in your assessment and appreciation of them. But when somebody is taking you down the road to ruin, and you don't want to say nothing because they're cute, or you don't want to say nothing because they're handsome, or you don't want to say nothing because they're getting money, and you may be really intrigued by the way that they are living their life. Like, so you sell drugs for a living. You sell drugs, and you really getting it out here. It's not like you're not playing around with this thing. Yeah. Now, other people paying attention to you might look at you like you're just a gold digger, or you're just attracted, or what do they call it? What do they call it when you have like an unhealthy respect for the things that a person does? Like, you all gassed up by the fact that he's getting money or she's getting money, because this is not just a female thing. I know we talk about how females like, some women, not all of them, some women really like bad boys, cats that's out here on the streets. Not, maybe some are getting money, maybe some aren't, but it's like that wilderness, that masculine energy that comes off, with cats that seems short-tempered, get their money on the streets, willing to always put in the physical work in order to regulate a situation or whatever. It can be attractive to a lot of women. One of the reasons that I think that is attractive to a lot of women is because they look at dudes that are like that as protectors. Like, they know that if nothing else, this guy will make sure that nothing happens to me when we are out together, or when I'm by myself, or maybe his reputation precedes him to the point where I don't have to worry about somebody knocking me up in the back of my head when I'm out there on them streets. I'm safe when I'm out there on them streets because my baby. Well, there are a lot of men who feel the same way, not necessarily looking for a woman to protect him, but they may be really intrigued by a chick that has learned to make it make it in her own way on the streets. I mean, and when you really get to thinking about it, we all know somebody who had kids when they were very young. Maybe their family life was so messed up that they had to start taking care of themselves at a very young age. Maybe got pregnant at 13 or 14 years old, got kicked out of the crib, or their parents died, their custodial parent died. So and they either had to go live with their grandmother or their aunt or somebody like that. And maybe that didn't work out too well because they had a baby or whatever. And family member not every family member treats that situation the same. Not everybody approaches that situation with love. So let's say you've been out there on the streets taking care of yourself since you was 14, 15, 16 years old. Like, I mean, really having to take care of yourself to the point where you and your baby, or you just by yourself, may have been house hopping, staying with a friend here, staying with a cousin over there, staying with an aunt over here, staying with a neighbor over there, staying with a classmate over there, whatever. You know what I mean? Paying rent here, breaking somebody off with a little bit of money over here, having to give this dude a little ass so you can stay at his spot for a few weeks, few months, or whatever. You know what I mean? Really having to scramble out here to make it. And when you have learned to survive on your own in that way, it makes you a different type of person. It builds a different type of character in you. So because you have had to learn how to survive on the streets, because you have had to take things or protect things from being taken from you because you didn't have a safe place to put them. So everything had to go with you any and everywhere you went until you could find a nice safe place of your own to store your stuff. Maybe you just by yourself, maybe you and a child. So, a young girl, 14, 15, 16 years old, already having to work, already having to sell a little something. Whether we talking about selling drugs or selling ass, having to do whatever it took in order to have a roof over your head, in order to be able, to put clothes on your back, put food in your mouth, and maybe your child's mouth or your children's mouth. We all know somebody who has been in that situation. So the way that they grew up, even though in deep down inside they were pretty decent people, they know how to survive out here in these streets. And the way that you survive out there in the streets is not about being a decent person. So, I mean, it's really not. The streets are not for good people. Good people come in the house. The streets are for people who will take something if nobody ain't looking, and will keep something if nobody asks for it back. Sort of like that. So some men may fall in love with that type. Like, yo, this is a real grown type woman. And I say a grown type woman because she might not have the years on her that match her experience. You know how we say to some people who have been through a whole lot of negativity, we say they done been through everything, they done been to hell and back and all of that. And we only calculating the negative things that they've been through. And somebody can always out negatively experience someone else. No matter how bad you've had it, no matter how rough you've had a go of it, no matter how ratchet, how wretched, how amazingly terrible the conditions that you may have had to have made it through, somebody else has had it way worse, and they may have come up out of it too. So certain men can become attracted to a woman who is independent, yet compassionate, yet really, really rough around the edges. And so when we say when when you're in love with a criminal, I just wanted to make it clear that we're not always talking about somebody who is violent or somebody who takes things from other people or sells drugs or whatever. There are not lots of ways to display criminal behavior. And even if you don't indulge in criminal behavior, People can always tell when you're criminal minded. Just like KRS-One was saying back in the day, criminal minded, you've been blinded. Looking for a style like this, you can't find it. He is DJ. I am the lyricist. Sometimes the people on the side gotta see this. But anyway, when you're criminal minded, so you may employ the same tactics that a criminal would employ, but you may not do it in criminal behavior, but it may still be unscrupulous. And it may lead down the path of criminal behavior if the opportunity warranted or if the situation backed you into a corner and made you do it. So when we talk about being criminal minded, I'm not just talking about women being in love with bad boys. There are plenty of good guys that are in love with bad women too. You know them. Look at how many dudes out here that fell in love with a stripper somewhere. And anybody who has bore witness to the stripper life, it gets nightmarish. It's not cute. This is not TV. This is not the gentleman's club. The gentleman's club. And even if it was the gentleman's club, what's the difference between being sexually assaulted in the gentleman's club and being sexually assaulted in the stripper spot? Because the only difference between the stripper spots or the titty bar and the gentleman's club is the income bracket. Both of the men on the different ends of the income spectrum are both living in a dark place up here. So that's whether you have money to pay for yours, just because you have the money to pay for something doesn't mean that you always want to pay for it. Not talking about anybody specifically, but plenty of criminals have had more than enough money to pay for the things that they have stolen. They stole it anyway. Now I got enough money to pay for two of them. So, yeah, when you're in love with a criminal, it can get scary. Because now you ain't got no business running from the law. You ain't got no business going back and forth to court. You ain't got no business having to explain yourself to the police. But here you are. Here you are. Guilty by association. And maybe even guilty, period. You know that a pretty woman will get a man to do almost anything that she wants him to do. It's not necessarily the other way around, but it can definitely be. When a woman really loves a man, she starts listening to him, and she will go along with his crazy ass ideas. And so we understand, I think, a little bit more about the whole good girls love bad boys thing. We get it because we've seen it. We've seen it in living color. But we don't always talk about, okay, no, I ain't going to say we don't always talk about some of the consequences of dealing with somebody who is unscrupulous or a criminal. We've definitely talked about that. But let me make sure that we make ourselves clear. When you're dealing with somebody that is out there doing things that are unscrupulous, doing things that are illegal, doing things that are unethical, that your association alone can make something catastrophic happen. You just there with them. You're not doing what they do necessarily. You know how they say birds of a feather flock together, but it's not always true. you don't always mirror exactly who your friends are. But I think if y'all hanging together long enough, yeah. But make sure y'all hit the like button, y'all. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, this is the Daily Go Getimism Show. I'm your host, Sun752, and we talking about when you're in love with a criminal. When you're in love with a criminal. See, when you are in love with a criminal, you know that there are only two ways to go when you indulge in a lot of criminal behavior. You're either going to go to jail, and many people have had to deal with their lovers or their spouses going to jail. And this is the part where it's not so glamorous. Your man or your woman gets locked up and they don't have enough money to really fight the case. So they may have gotten locked up for longer than they ever should have gotten because the punishment doesn't fit the crime, but because they couldn't afford an attorney, they up there sitting. So when you're in love with a criminal, you are going back and forth to those court dates, the arraignment, the hearing, the pre-trial investigation and hearing. So, yeah. So when a situation like that happens, when the person that you love gets incarcerated or something, that's a tough spot to be in. Now you're having to financially support them and try to make sure their kids respect them as a father figure if it comes into play that way, or make sure the kids understand that mommy might be in jail, but there's all a big misunderstanding. It's all a big misunderstanding because there must be some misunderstanding. There must be some kind of mistake. But anyway, yeah. Bad boys, bad girls, they may intrigue us. But at the same time, they may put us in positions where we're in over our heads. We are thinking that we can hang with this situation. Oh, it ain't that bad. They will look out for me. They ain't gonna let nothing happen to me. They ain't gonna let nobody do nothing to me. They ain't gonna do this, that, the third. I get it, but you can't control that. In love with a criminal. The thing about being in love with a criminal is you can never be exactly sure what they will or will not do. Imagine, somebody out there has taken a man, some woman out there has taken her man to go meet her family. He done came up in the crib and left with something that belonged to one of her family members. Stole from her crib. She may not have even known about it, but that's what she's working with. She may not have known he took anything, but her people may have called her and been like, yo, did you see my blah, 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 blah? Yeah, he might have got it. Could be something as small as a lighter for cigarettes or blunts. Or it could be something as expensive as some jewelry, a watch, a ring, a necklace. Yeah. How you gonna explain to your peoples that your man ain't got no damn sense, home training, nothing? Well, yeah, he had to survive out in the streets. He been out on his own since he was like 15, 16 years old. So, listen, get the boy some therapy then. Don't bring him around this goddamn house no more. And don't be expecting us to understand and respect his story. Get his ass, take some of that money he stole and get his ass some therapy. Sit his ass on the couch. You know, it happens. Same thing with men. Many men have taken a girl home to meet his peoples or whatever, and they, when a dude brings a woman home and she ain't on a level, he catches it from his people. And some people listening to this thinking that we talking about is her looks. No, when she can't talk right, act right, maybe she thinks she's a know-it-all, maybe she's super standoffish. Like it could be a whole lot of things. It could be a whole lot of things. But one thing is for sure, if a dude brings a chick home to meet his peoples and real recognize real, they're gonna get in his ear about it. Like, yo, man, what you doing? Why you with that one? Oh no, man, she cool. Nah, man, come on. I ain't saying that she ain't cool, but she ain't cool. She ain't cool. In love with a criminal. In love with a criminal. She used to sell crack out the Mr. Softy Man truck. Yeah. You got a banana boat and 2 hits. Yeah. But it happens. And here you are stuck like Chuck because you really digging this woman or really digging this man. However it goes. What the guan? What the guan? What the guan? What the guan? So it's not an easy position to be in. But it's not an unfamiliar position for many of us. We probably, I don't care if they just won't pay their bills on time. You talking about criminal behavior or being in love with a criminal. Maybe they got their electricity hooked up so they don't have to pay a whole lot every month. It's a crime. It's a crime. Might have done the same thing with the water. It's a crime. It's a crime. Yeah, there are ways to get around everything, anything, and everything that you want to do in your life. There's a way to get around it. We ain't gonna spend a lot of time tonight, y'all. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie. I'm a little spent, nigga tired, hanging in there. What up, Care Bear? What up, Carol Chamber? Let me favorita. Appreciate y'all coming through on a later hour, on this late hour. I'm glad to be here though. Will we have a show tomorrow? Will we? I'm gonna tell y'all this. If we have a show tomorrow, the show is gonna be early. If we have a show tomorrow, the show is gonna be early. It's not gonna be a late show. Not gonna be a late show. So what do y'all think about this? When you're in love with a criminal. When you are in love with a criminal. Yeah. Stealing, taking, borrowing, never giving back. I don't know. Attracted to danger. Deep down inside, we may think that a lot of people are going to change. Well, change doesn't always happen overnight. It usually doesn't. Change don't normally happen overnight. It happens over a series of overnights. Like I need a bunch of overnights right here. Give me some spinning the nights. Spinning them and then them and then them in the night. Spinning them in and then the spinning the night. Let's do these birthday shout outs. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious, November 22nd, the first day of Sagittarius. I said November 22nd is the first day of Sagittarius. Number one out the box. No, hold up. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious September. I'm sorry, November 22nd. And they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special because they are special because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box. My girl going all the way back to the 1986. My girl Mia Frank. Happy birthday to you, Mia. And also, Sonia Jarman, happy birthday to you. And Kareem Gaddafi Bey Muhammad, turning 60 years old today. And also, Miss Rocky Hunter, happy birthday to you. And Freddie Peace Asakpa. Asakpa. Turning 49 years old today. And also, Marie Jain, turning 35 years old today. And Nana Adwa Blessing, turning 30 years old today. And Triola James, turning 44 years old today. And Kiki Kiadatu Bijou Jalaba, turning 35 years old today. Last but not least, oh man, I think it's a heavy side. Yeah, this is a heavenly birthday shout out. Posthumous. This lady actually passed away this year. She passed this year. My girl, my lady, Miss Brenda Jones. It would have been her birthday today. Miss Brenda Jones. You know, she would have been 74 years old today. So she missed it. But I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, and I don't want to offend anybody. But I met Miss Brenda Jones in 1978 when she moved from Maryland. They moved from Maryland up here to Philly, and they lived across the street from where my family lived at. And she had a bunch of kids, and she was always a really nice lady, but she was always a really big lady too. She was always a really big lady. Now, she was a big lady. She was a real big, she was light skinned, but she was a big lady. She was, she was big. And, but she could really, shake a thing on the dance floor and all of that. She moved her, how they used to say, she carried her weight really well. But eventually that starts to catch up with you. And Miss Brenda and all her, sexiness, sweetness, and extra largeness, had a pretty good run. But I ain't gonna front. 73 years old ain't a long time to live. And they don't bury a lot of really old, overweight people. And I don't mean just regular overweight. I'm talking about over 300 pounds, 400 pounds. They don't live a whole long time. So you have to start thinking about those things, as we glorify all this BBW stuff and all of that. And I ain't saying nothing's wrong with it. But as far as your health is concerned, it catches up with you. So, but RIP, Miss Brenda. You know what I mean? You are very, very, very well missed amongst all of us. All right. I want to give a shout out to each and every person out there born on this day, on this November 22nd. And I hope that today finds you all a good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. All right. And all of y'all go ahead and turn up, but don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, the rock out, rock on and do the damn, rock out, rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, man, listen, when you're in love with a criminal and you ain't even a criminal, maybe back in the day you used to be a criminal, but ain't no more. You're no longer a criminal. Well, you got to watch your associations. You got to watch your heart. You got to watch your lungs. You got to watch your head. You got to watch your body. No, really. You got to be careful. You know, your heart getting caught up was one thing, but you could mess around, lose your freedom, mess around and lose your good health, mess around and lose your life, messing around with people who ain't ready to reel it in and start just playing a little bit straighter. Yeah, you can go ahead and have your fun. Just understand what the consequences of your actions are. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death, resuscitate y'all, and love y'all right back to life. Maybe we'll have another show tomorrow. I can't guarantee it. But if we do, it ain't going to be late like this. I'll tell you that. And that's for real, for real. Yo, but I'm going to tell y'all like this. Me loves ya. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. So rock him and say peace. All right, y'all. Have a good night. And if I don't speak to you beforehand, have a happy Thanksgiving. Have a happy holiday. You know, do the damn thing. Eat, but don't eat yourself out of house and home. Don't eat yourself into an early grade. And don't be getting out there getting too high. Peace. One love, baby.